everything in my life. Sunny days and starry nights that never end. You make me laugh, you make me cry, you make me come alive. I'll come alive again. I'll come alive. I'll come alive again.
Hello everyone, and welcome to my first episode of Celeste's quest for her best life. I know, it's very confusing. However, there's an explanation. But first, I'm going to share with you what I'm drinking. Today I'm having a nice Thai tea. Thai tea is a unique blend of black tea leaves coupled with a little sweetener, which I use monk fruit because we don't do sugar in this house, as well as some half and half. It's creamy, it's delicious. I'm obsessed with Thai tea. It's one of my favorite treats. I feel like this episode deserves an explanation before we get into it. And that's because these shots, a lot of the photos and a lot of the footage that I took for this video were actually taken in October, the first episode. But it was before I had the computer. Talk about putting the cart before the horse. I didn't have the computer and I did not have the software that I needed in order to make a program for 30 minutes. So all of this footage and these photos were just set aside in a file until something could be done with them. Also, on this episode, I am going to be showing you my home and the changes that I made to it. I don't have before and after photos. Unfortunately, I'm so upset I can't show you a picture of what my home looked like before. I tried to find some pictures. I may have been able to dig a couple up. But I did a little makeover during COVID to make my home more comfortable because some things kind of went sideways and the renovations were absolutely necessary. I'll give you a hint. It's the year of the rat. We had an infestation. It was bad. So I also, after finishing the reno on my place, a friend of mine asked me if I would help give her some help in picking out some furniture to go with her decor. And she didn't have any other furniture really to work with. So we got to start from scratch. And she needed to order the furniture that we picked out. So it took a couple of weeks for it to arrive, and I wanted to get some of those after shots. It wasn't completely done, but we get an idea in the sense of the direction we went to make her home just a little bit more comfortable for her. So this episode is going to be about creating a sanctuary space for yourself, as well as an introduction to Celeste's quest for her best life. Now, I've already had a little bit of practice with my pumpkin party and my wild anniversary episodes, and there's more episodes to come. But I hope you'll enjoy some of the preliminary footage that I got and decided to talk about for this first episode. My name is Celeste Barbier. Enjoy the lost episode. Hello everyone and welcome to my new show. This is called Celeste's Quest and I'm your host, Celeste Barbier. And I just since this is my very first episode, I would like to just talk about why I'm doing a show and what my show is going to be about, just a little introduction as to who I am. So I have really no credits to my name. You're not going to find me as some celebrity. I am not, I've never won any awards for like Grammys or Emmys or anything like that. And I am an entertainer. Before COVID happened, I was a full-time performing artist, a vocalist. And I sing, and I also have recorded a few albums. I'm a recording artist and a singer. I sang at a lot of weddings, a wedding singer, an event singer, galas, private parties. I sing for seniors with Alzheimer's disease. I sing for assisted living senior communities as well. And not with the blue hair, by the way. And I also sing for just tons of events here in Southern California. And well, when COVID happened, my calendar was cleared. There was nothing left on my calendar. Everything was canceled. As you all know, there was no more live music. My industry tanked. But I still wanted a reason to get up and do something every day, put myself together, because I like to express myself with fashion. As you can see, I like makeup, I like hair. I'm not a professional in any of those things. In fact, we're never going to even probably ever discuss hair, makeup, or fashion, you're just gonna see me look different every single time I do an episode. Get used to it. And you may be partial, like, I don't like blue hair on her. I like blonde, I like black. And you know what? Everyone has an opinion, and that's fine, and that's great. And I love to see those comments of like, I love this hair on you, or I preferred the other, whatever. But it doesn't matter. Ultimately, I'm just gonna wear whatever I feel like wearing that day. Okay? Okay, so a little bit of more about me. So what happened is back in March, when all my gigs canceled, I needed a reason to get up in the morning. So I gave myself an assignment, and every single morning at 11 a.m. I did something called quarantine time, where I would sample a different kind of cup of tea and do a nice positive quote. And it started as a show that was under 1 minute for my Instagram. And then it kind of evolved into like this whole 5-minute program where I would do quotes from whoever celebrity's birthday it was that day, and then also national days. Like there's like National Ice Cream Day and National First Child Day, and there's just so many different things. So I started doing all this just to kind of keep me going and to add a little flavor to each day, so we didn't just have to focus on the stuff that we don't like. And I really believe in positive living and positive energy. So what is my quest? My quest is for a better life. It's really general. It's really generic. Celeste quest. I have a lot of things to work on. Look, I'm a chubby girl trying to live a good life and to be a good person, and to learn and experience different things. And experiences are much harder to come by right now with COVID, as opposed to when you could just go out and do whatever you wanted, whatever you wanted. So I started this show called Quarantine Time, and this little network popped up called the Quarantine Network. And the Quarantine Network said, we love your show, we want to add it to our little lineup of daily shows. So I was excited. I knew some of the people that were running that, and I was on board. I'm like, yeah, sure, just have to, I'm doing it anyway, might as well share it to the Quarantine Network. And then it expanded. They're like, can you give us more content? Is there anything else you can do? So I started doing these Black History trivia called Test with Celeste, and I used the Urban Intellectuals Black History flashcards and trivia games, and I was giving out prizes for that. My wife is an artist. She's a little more camera shy, so getting her on camera is gonna be one of my challenges as I kind of navigate how I'm gonna do this show. But she's an artist, she's incredibly talented, and she does all kinds of commission art and animal art, and she's been doing a few more portraits. In fact, she did Frida Kahlo and Ruth Bader Ginsburg recently. So she does a lot of different art, and we'll try to get her on camera. So we did a couple pop-up art shows. I was actually surprised. She does much better on camera than she thinks that she does. But she's not as much, she doesn't like the limelight as much as I do, or the spotlight. And so I did that show, and then I also was streaming a few concerts out of my home, and those were also shared to the Quarantine Network. And I also participated as a guest on several other shows during this time. So there's a lot of people that are doing a lot of home streamed content right now, and there's really nothing I can tell you that's going to make my show any better than anyone else's show. It really comes down to personality thing. If you like my personality, you'll probably like my show. It's just going to be a real honest look about how I live, and tips and tricks, things that I like, things that I want to share with you. And yeah, hopefully you'll get something out of this. And you'll meet my family, you'll meet my wife, Renee, and you're gonna meet my parrot, Wazo. In fact, you might meet him in the background sound before you even meet him on camera, because he's a little noisy at times. So if you hear some strange squawking or tweeting in the back, that is most likely my precious parrot, my beloved only child. So that's just a little bit about me. So I'm Celeste Barbier. I live in a town called Oceanside, California. And I live with my wife, Renee, and my bird named Wazo. He's an eclectus parrot. You'll meet him, and we'll talk about eclectus parrots on one of these episodes. And I have been asked to do a show for Palapa TV, just kind of about my life. And this is how Celeste Quest was born. So I hope you guys will enjoy this show. I hope we'll grow together. I am not a professional videographer. I have no experience in the film industry at all besides being interviewed on some different shows. So this is going to be a learning experience as we navigate how to do a show with just a cell phone and a laptop computer. But I think it's going to be fun. It's going to be an exciting experience, and I'm excited to welcome you to my life and to give you a glimpse at what it's like to be Celeste. So thank you guys for tuning in, and we have some fun episodes that I have in mind. One of the things about me is I love to come up with new ideas for lots of different things. So I don't think I'm going to run out of content for you. That is definitely not my biggest concern. My biggest concern is whether or not I have the tech savvy skills to create a show with enough interesting content to keep you engaged, and that the technology behind it doesn't make it more boring, and that I can figure out how to edit and put all this stuff together. But I'm a very honest, open person. I want you guys to feel that you know me and that I'm a very real and raw, and I'm not putting on filters, and I'm not putting on fakeness. I feel like I really feel like we need something that's genuine, and I always strive to be as genuine a person as possible. I have a lot of opinions, as do everyone. What do they call it? Say opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one, and I do have a lot of opinions, and you may not agree with all of my opinions. And I'm not really here to be controversial or political or to create any kind of problems. I just want to create a better life for myself. And if sharing that life with you helps you have a better day or better life, or just a nice distraction from whatever you've got going on, then that is just what I'm here for. So thank you guys for watching, and I look forward to sharing this experience with Palapa TV and Celeste Quest with all of you. So now that you've gotten to know me, I want to share a little bit about my space here. So since this is my home and this is where we're going to be shooting these videos, I want to tell you a little story about this space during COVID, because a lot of us have been forced to stay at home more often maybe than we're used to. I was always running about. I used to have 30 gigs a month. So I was always on the run, and I was always on the go. And I have been living in this apartment, which is really a cottage, a little cottage. It's 650 square feet. It's a very small cottage, 2-bedroom, 1 bath. I mean, there's a lot of problems that can go on at this house because we live really close to the beach, and it is an old cottage from the 1930s or 40s, and we've had some problems. Okay, so back after the major rains that we had in March and April, we had an invasion of rats. And by the way, it is the year of the rat. So how did we get an invasion of the rats? Well, first of all, they came in through the fireplace. Let me show you my little fireplace here. You see these little snowflakes? Well, those are vents, and the rats crawled up from inside of those vents and then came into the house. Well, how have we solved this problem? Well, check this out. Plexi. We've got plexiglass in front of those now. So that was helpful. That was one way to keep them out. Then, guess what happened next? Next, they chewed through our laminate flooring and created holes in the laminate, and then used carpet to make nests in my entertainment center. So what I used to have is this gigantic entertainment center, which now you see a TV there, but no entertainment center. And this entertainment center took up an entire wall, and it was from almost floor to ceiling, and the rats went underneath it in an area where I could not reach them and built their nests. So that's where they were. So after this fiasco and this ongoing issue, we finally got our landlords to replace the floor. We had carpet on one side of the house and this laminate wood ugly that was peeling back and lifting up and swelling because of the moisture in the air on the floor. So now we have tile. So this is the tile that has been added to our house. It's just probably the most generic, cheap type of tile that they have, but no more. Can't eat through that, so that's a good thing. So We ended up getting rid of the entertainment center. We gave it to we actually gave it to the contractor that was laying the tile because nobody wanted it from OfferUp and Craigslist, probably because of COVID. Anyway, so we decided that it was time to give our home a little makeover. It's a 10-year anniversary of living here makeover. We wanted it to feel brighter, lighter, and larger because it is a small space. And you're gonna be surprised because when I show you the actual space that we have, it looks a lot larger than you would expect for a 650 square foot cottage. But this is the space we've created now. As you can see, I've got my little corner, my reading corner. Then we did some lighter curtains. I refinished this reclining Buddha. It was a dark espresso wood and I painted it with white and gold and bronze and some different dark golds. We tore out an old sconce that was over here and now we have these succulents that are gracing both sides of the inlaid mirror. That was not my mirror. That mirror is inlaid into the wall and has had a white painted frame forever. So we painted that gold as well to match the Buddha. And of course, those are candles. This is an old piece that my wife inherited from her father. This is from the Carstairs Whiskey White Seal, back from also the 1930s or 40s. I think it was 40s for that. These are signed photographs of Miss Marilyn Monroe. My friend's uncle actually shot these photographs. So it's signed by him and it has letters of authenticity, they're numbered and everything on the back, and they've got UV protection and they are preservation mounted and everything. Then this is my old sofa. I did not replace my sofa. I can't afford to replace everything, but I got some new throw pillows to give it a new little life. And then I also got a coffee table and this rug. This is pretty much the centerpiece of the design as well. So between the Marilyns and the existing couch and the rug, this is kind of how I came up with my style. Bought the coffee table and the end table over here that match on Amazon. I didn't spend a lot of money on this. I was just trying to make it a nice space. And then the first thing I wanted to get was a plant for this space. So I bought this beautiful croton plant. And then I had a fake palm tree. That's my fakie. And this also was another project that I did. This piece was also a dark mahogany stained Thai wood Buddha wall piece. And I ended up painting it with white, gold, rose gold for the lips, and bronze for the hair. And a little bit of a bronze accent under the chin and eyelids. And I really love the way this piece turned out. We like to have a little privacy in our hallway, so we have this red curtain, which actually turns out to be a really great backdrop for when I'm streaming concerts with my prayer flags above. I still need to get something to cover the wires from our TV, and then this is my new entertainment center. This is a bookshelf. I wanted to display some of my favorite pinup books. Some of these are signed by famous pinups like Tempest Storm, and then got some other books about Marilyn Monroe, some books about some singers. These are the parents. At the bottom, you'll see some urns. There's my wife's parents and my mom are down there. Some books on astrology and spirituality, and then my wife has a little collection of elephants. We actually dwindled this down from almost 40 elephants to just a few of our favorites. Really nicely spaced out. And then some crystals, which is only a fraction of the crystals that we have. A lot of them are in my wife's office. She's also a massage therapist, Reiki master. And my little djembe drum that I picked up in Venice Beach a few years ago. I like to have drum circles occasionally, so that actually does get used. It's not just decoration. And then I threw a little gold paint on these twins. Not too much, just enough to make them shine a little. And this is my pothos plant. This is called a jade and pearl pothos, and it is thriving. This is my very happy Buddha. I think he just makes me just so joyful, with some Tibetan Buddhist beads that I got that were blessed by the Dalai Lama, and I got from some Tibetan monks from the Ganesha Monastery. Another Buddhist monk that I met, he drew this for me based on my thumbprint, which is that center petal of that flower, and then he drew this flower up around my thumb, which was really nice. And so I had to save it and frame that. So this is my sanctuary. This is where I feel like I get to be myself. I get to be happy and free. I like my little coasters as well. I like how there's a nice please. And you might notice these 2 Life magazines. Why do I have 2 Life magazines? I have a table. I have my bench full of all kinds of crap. I'm actually been trying to order a chest of drawers to go underneath my Buddha here, and 3 times in Amazon and Walmart, they've canceled my order. I'm having a really hard time with getting a chest of drawers. Gold, white and gold. Anyway, so then there's my bench, my table. I already had this table, but we did replace the chairs because the chairs all looked like that, so they were very dark. So we got these little steel chairs with little covers on them. And then I have my little music corner here with some of my music equipment. No, I'm not a piano player, but I can plunk out some notes. And this is also a little thing worth mentioning. This is over 100-year-old Quran cover with gold inlay that was gifted to me by an elderly man with Alzheimer's who was my neighbor when I lived in a place called Hillcrest in San Diego. And this is a lamp that I rescued that was going to be thrown out. A little swag lamp, probably from the 60s. A new mirror that I got. And then this is I've had these were some of the first 2 things I bought to decorate my very first apartment. They're from Thailand. And I threw some gold paint on these just to brighten them up. They were also a dark wood. And then this is a Cote d'Ivoire mask my wife had. Also another new plant. This is my Dracaena I can't remember, Marginata, Dracaena Marginata. So I named her Margie Green. I do name all my plants. The Croton is named Crony, and the Jade and Pearl is named Pearl. I know, not the most creative names in the world. And this is just an example of one of the pieces of art that my wife has done. I'm not gonna show you the rest of the rooms because they're not really finished. They're also extremely small. This is my living space. So welcome to this. Later today, I actually am going to be meeting with a friend who asked me for some advice on how to make her space a little bit more happy and say comfortable for her. So to give her some design ideas. I'm not a professional anything, just so you guys know. I am not a professional makeup artist. I'm not a professional designer. I'm not a professional interior designer. But like I said, I have an opinion on everything. I do have some clever ideas, and I do just have an eye for color and for fun and matching things. This is gonna be a fun journey. Thank you guys so much. Have a fabulous day. So here's that really dark espresso wood entertainment center I was telling you about. Look how bright and light it is now. We even put in some floating shelves. Much better. And you can see my little corner here. Just changed out a couple of pillows, the end table, the coffee table, brightened up the side curtains. Definitely made a difference in this space. Over here, I ended up making my little music space. I didn't have my own space for all my music equipment before, but it's pretty much the same. The rug made a big difference. As you can see, the first photos, those are Christmas photos, but it definitely did change the space, just changing that rug out and the curtains. These are some of my favorite little corner pieces, the plants and my little Buddha projects that I had. I think it was really fun. This was a big project. You can see how that started and how it ended up. I love it. This one as well. It was very dark. Just adding a little gold. So I'm here at my friend Tammy's house. Of course, we're being COVID safe. It is still COVID season, so she's got her mask on. I've got my mask on. We've all got our masks on. And we're looking at the space. We have a couple things to work with that we're going to make the centerpieces of this space, including this fabulous art behind me, which takes up a huge portion of this wall. And guess who did that art? That'd be my wife. She did that art. Yeah. By the way, this is Tammy. She's agreed to show her a little bit of her home, what we're gonna do, and some of our ideas. And this is Renee, the artist, who doesn't like to be on camera. And here's the art. She's got a couple huge djembes. You saw that I had my little one, but this is her big drums. She's come to some of the drum circles we've hosted in the past. Right now, this is what we're working with. I think she's had a lot of love in this chair. Definitely a lot of love. Cat scratch fever here. And then she has 2 large cat playgrounds. We've got a lot of Native American influence. Of course, we got some Nina Simone playing here. Tammy had recently lost her mother, and this table and this hutch were some of the things that her mom had left that she took over, of course, and a couple of these Catholic style art prints over here on the sides. So we've got some traditional furniture, which is going to be a difficult workaround with some contemporary stuff. We'll have to tie it in. We've got some Native American art here. Got some other Native American art. More Renee Cosby art. I know she has some more hidden and stashed out elsewhere. Oh, she's gonna show us over here. Go around the corner. Oh, there we go. We got the giraffe right here. That's a great spot for it. I would not move that at all. That's great. So we're not gonna be working too much with the bedrooms, but we're gonna be trying to figure out how to give her a little safe, happy sanctuary spot here in her living room and living space. So it was important to Tammy to make sure that we kept the hutch and the table and the chairs that she had inherited when her mother had passed. This also included the chickens and the Catholic items that you see here. We just had to clean it up. Really, all we did here is we got a new tablecloth, which has some stitching in it as well as some tassels to give it kind of a fun look. And we also cleaned up and put all the chickens together on the hutch and just organized things. As you can see here, I did say in the video I wasn't going to move the giraffe, but I decided to move it to this wall space where we also put the djembe drums on display, and we ended up moving this Native American art piece to the entryway to go with the other collection of indigenous items that she has. There's still a lot more to be done in this area. We just need to get some of her books and her other items out of storage, or maybe go shopping for some decorations. But we had to get rid of the second cat play area. As you can see, she had all her tech stacked up all over it, and we needed something to put all that. So we have this little media cabinet here that we're going to decorate. So this wall you see when you walk in through Tammy's front door was really important to me. It makes a statement about who she is. And Tammy is indigenous. She is Luiseño Indian, and she has some pieces from her culture that she's collected throughout her life. And I wanted to put those on display. So when you walk in, you see the left-hand side of the wall, not the side with the vent. We put her art on this same wall and got this really nice little console table where we've displayed some of her baskets and some of her precious items. So you get a real good feel of who she is right when you walk in. Creating a comfortable living space for Tammy was the most important goal that we had. All she had was that beat up old recliner and nothing else in this living room except for this beautiful art piece. So we've got to start from scratch, and we ended up going to the Lazy Boy store and finding her a brand new recliner, which she loves. It's a Talladega and it's in gray leather, as well as this tan sofa that was on sale. Now she already has light gray walls and her floors are that warm brown. So we ended up pulling everything together with this amazing rug that has bits of color in it as well as grays and tans, and it just pulls everything together. I also found this really neat lamp that was on sale that we put in there that was also a nice bright vibrant color. The end table is still on order, so we don't have that yet, but instead we used the entry table for this. And then I found those really colorful pillows. The blue pillows came with the sofa. We threw those on anyway. And then there's the beautiful coffee table, which actually lifts up so that you can eat at it and as well as use it for storage. So it's kind of a fun living room, and we ended up achieving our goal of making Tammy very happy and comfortable in her living room. So just to wrap up this episode, I wanted to let you know that Tammy is extremely happy with the way that we did her condo. She loves it so much. We're going to do another room pretty soon. She has this back room with records just piled up all over the floor, in desperate need of a place to keep her media and her records and put her beautiful record player up on display. Just a nice, comfortable listening and hanging out room, and it'll also be a good little guest space for her if she has overnight company. But she's very happy. We still have her end table on order, but I have two other friends that have asked me to give them some pointers and help them redecorate and redesign their homes as well to make it more comfortable for themselves. So who knows, this made me now turn into a little side gig for me, which is always fun because us artists need side gigs, definitely. So Thank you so much. I hope that you have learned a couple tips and tricks to make your space more comfortable, and maybe if you're still in trying to decorate or create that safe little sanctuary space that you need, you see some ideas, and we've sparked some of that for you. But thank you so much for watching this episode of Celeste Quests. Next episode, I'm going to be doing all about holistic health as I take you on a little tour of my favorite holistic health clinic, Lotus Rain Naturopathic Clinic in San Diego.
Two worlds, one and the same. Both are those from whence we came. One would have darkened his harmony, the other light and melody. Two words, one and the same. Two worlds, let's erase the boundaries. Two worlds, follow our dreams, see where they lead. Two worlds, one and the same. Their lives are good, and in the light the devil once stood. The good, the bad, a balance of the two. Darkness and light reside in you. Two the same. Two